Hello everybody, Flik here. It's time for Let's Chat, my weekly vlog series posted every Monday at lunchtime if you're in the UK. And I'm recording this one a bit later than I usually do because I kind of forgot. So, yeah, sorry. Oh, also, thank you for reminding me as you just signed into Steam. I'll turn Steam off to stop Steam sounds. Good. So, I'm recording this on the Saturday before the Monday it's due, and that has reminded me that next Saturday, which will be Saturday the 19th, the Steam night, starting at 7 PM GMT if you don't know, running until roughly 9, sometimes we go later than that. It's going to be Monster Hunter themed. So if you're interested in hanging around talking about Monster Hunter or joining in, turn up next Saturday. And you have to be at least HR 4 because we're going to be doing HR 4. We might even get into HR 5. I've been fighting a lot of stuff in my solo play, so it shouldn't be a problem to kind of, push on with the online stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. So if you want to join in, get recorded on camera, help me out, have some fun. Turn up next Saturday, 7 till 9 GMT, as I said. So I do a Steam alert, so if you have Steam on, you'll get the alert, assuming you're not playing a game. Another thing I wanted to cover from last time that I forgot about. We were talking about JRPGs that I'd played. I totally forgot Resonance of Fate, which was on PS3 and 360, I believe, by Sega. It wasn't an amazing JRPG, but I actually liked it quite a lot. It had a very unique battle system involving like gun kata and stuff like that. It's very tongue-in-cheek most of the time. I remember liking it enough to do all the achievements and all the optional bosses and stuff, so yeah, I recommend that if you're still looking for suggestions or information on JRPGs that I played and enjoyed anyway. So other than that, I've got a couple of things I want to talk about, but we'll start as always with the questions and answers section where I go through anything that you've kind of pitched on Twitter or in the comment section of last week. So if I bring up my browser here, we'll go back to Let's Chat number 22. I will scroll down to the bottom and start from the oldest comment, and we'll see what got said. So, I am Spain. Hey Flik, I'm really looking forward to Far Cry 4, Assassin's Creed Unity and Bloodborne. Are you looking forward to the release of any of these or any games out soon? And will you be covering any of them in your playthroughs? Thanks. Thank you for the comment, first of all. Far Cry 4, maybe. If I get it on PS4, I might play it. I don't know about doing any coverage. I mean, it's a Ubisoft game, so it'd be fine. I wouldn't play it on PC, and I wouldn't play Assassin's Creed Unity on PC either for reasons I've gone through before. Because they have Ubisoft's god-awful Uplay, I can't stand that program. I despise it. It exists purely as DRM, not to be any kind of logical, functioning digital distribution platform. I despise it. I hate it. I actively avoid games that use it. On the consoles it can't be as intrusive as it is on PC, so I can tolerate it on consoles. So I might play Far Cry 4 on PS4. Assassin's Creed Unity will be PS4 for sure, and I hope to do videos of it. Usually when I get a new Assassin's Creed game, I just do the multiplayer in terms of videos. I don't like recording the story mode because I pay too much attention to it, so I wouldn't have much to talk about. But this one of course has co-op, which is a big draw for me, so it's hard to say. I didn't want to get drawn back into the Assassin's Creed franchise, but the co-op has kind of swung it for me, so even if it has a god-awful adversarial multiplayer, I'm still kind of looking forward to them finally adding proper co-op to the single-player portion. Bloodborne I'm interested in a lot. I need to see more about it though. I need to see more details, more what the vision of the creator is. Is it more like Demon Souls? Is it more like Dark Souls? Where are you aiming? Is there any kind of PvP or co-op? I'm interested in it for sure. As for games that come out soon, I'm kind of interested in Destiny, kind of. I didn't get into the alpha during E3, which is disappointing, but I am still interested enough in the game to try. I don't think Bungie makes particularly good games. I think they went a bit too far up their own arses with the Halo series before they, sold it out to Microsoft. The first Halo was fantastic, but then they bought into their own hype, as it were. And I didn't like any of the games before Halo either. But Destiny, it seems like an interesting mix between Halo and Borderlands. So I am interested. I think it will need to be co-op to be enjoyable, but I'm kind of looking forward to that. And is it classed as closed or open beta? Well, either way, the beta thing for Destiny starts on the 17th of July, which is very, very soon. And that will run up to sometime before the actual game releases in September. So I think I might be able to try it via that. And I'm very curious if it will get tiring very fast, repetition setting in, like it does in Borderlands as well, especially if you're playing alone. I think Destiny is going to suffer from that, especially if it doesn't have a full-baked story. But I'm interested in it enough to probably buy it, because I'm not on... Do Bungie handle their own distribution now? They must do. I'm not on their mailing list either way. I don't get any information about their games directly, I don't think. Other games are out soon. Potentially The Binding of Isaac Rebirth if it's out soon, but I don't think it's out soon. I don't know. I am really looking forward to it though. So next, moving on, George Espinoza. Question, I'm 16 years old and have been playing video games for most of my life. People constantly bash me online when I play games like Dark Souls or Halo, saying I'm only a wannabe gamer. My question is, do you think that stereotypes surrounding young gamers have kind of ruined the fun for online gaming, or maybe gaming in general? Yeah, well, first of all, you shouldn't worry too much about what other people think. If you play games and have done all your life, then that makes you a gamer, regardless of what games you choose to play. Especially games like Dark Souls and Halo. So, do you think stereotypes surrounding young gamers have kind of ruined the fun of online gaming? I don't think they're responsible for ruining the fun in online gaming. I think we as a species are responsible for ruining online gaming. As soon as you get... Oh, well, there's a rather infamous Penny Arcade comic about, anonymity plus being able to say whatever you want equals making you a bastard. I'm paraphrasing the joke. But yeah, it's true. The anonymity of the internet means that people just kind of indulge in their darker side. They spout horrible things knowing they can get away with it because there's no policing. So it's hard to say, or rather it's easy to say and hard to do, but just ignore it and distance yourself from it. This is why I don't involve myself in PvP, because I hate the atmosphere and the community that surrounds a lot of PvP centric things, like MOBAs for instance. They're the big bad one. But yeah, turn off in-game mics, turn off your own, turn off anyone's, turn off your teammates, turn off the enemy teams, close the chats. Like when I play Path of Exile, I turn off the chat because I don't want to hear people arguing about what build is 10% or 0.5% better than so and so. I don't care, I just want to have fun. So yeah, I would say that stereotyping younger gamers is also a bad thing, because you don't need to be physically young to act like a stereotypical child. There's plenty of adults who act like children, and there's plenty of children who act like adults. So age has nothing to do with it, physical age. It's the way you act that defines how you're foreseen on the internet, I guess. But yeah, I would say just don't buy into it. Don't let it get you down. Just don't. I don't like that you have been subjected to this kind of atmosphere, but unfortunately it's something everybody deals with, especially if you're in the public eye. YouTubers, the larger ones, have to deal with this kind of shit constantly and from thousands of places at once, so you can only imagine how bad it is for them. That's why so many content creators distance themselves from their audience, because of the bad ones in the audience. But yeah, you're also not that young, really. I mean, well, actually you are kind of at the peak age where you would say stereotypically, oh, 16-year-olds, they all play Call of Duty. It's actually probably more like 10-year-olds that play Call of Duty now, if I had to guess, given that you can get Call of Duty branded clothing that would only fit a child of that age, which makes no sense to me. I remember going on a rant about this back when I did a podcast, but I saw like Call of Duty themed clothing for people who could never be the legal age to play the game, and it's like, how is that legal? Is it just because there isn't a specific rule that disallows that you can make branded stuff for an 18 rated game marketed towards children? That went off on a wild tangent and has nothing to do with what you said. I think I covered it as stuttery as I could anyway. Just ignore it. Just distance yourself from the people who are vitriolic when you play online. Just try and concentrate on playing games co-op with your friends. That's the best way to play stuff online, I think. GHunt123459. So if you skip an ad, the YouTuber gets nothing. Yes, that is correct. Someone also asked, it's not directly here, what happens if you skip an ad halfway through? Like, say you've got a 3-minute ad for a movie, and a minute and a half through you think, well, I've seen enough of this trailer, I'm not going to watch this movie, it seems crap, and then you press the skip button. Then do I get paid anything? I have no idea. I do not know the answer to that question. That's something I've never seen commented on, like what is the minimum requirement. But either way, yeah, if you press skip ad as soon as an ad appears at the start of a video or the end of the video, I get nothing. If you just sit and let it play, even if you go away and go to the toilet, wherever, I still get something for that. So consider doing that, if indeed you want to support what I do. Never ever ever though, never ever ever click an ad unless you are genuinely interested in the content. otherwise you will get me in trouble, and any other YouTuber as well. That goes for everybody. Do not click ads if you have absolutely no interest in them. Definitely do not do it over and over, or you will get people banned and murdered by Google secretly in an alleyway. Dragonaka says, "You're a little horse." I am not a little horse. And he is planning on going to the Scottish Expo. Well, you might see me there. It depends, like I was talking about last time. Voltaire says, "Oh, this is in regards to who would win out of my Monster Hunter 3 character or my Dark Souls 2 character. Your Monster Hunter character would win. The Dark Souls 2 character can deal some damage, but Monster Hunter characters are built to take a beating." Well, that's true. They're built to take beatings of giant, badass dinosaur type things, I suppose, so... Good Rory says, "I just had a look at dubbed Naruto. It's 122 episodes behind the subbed version." Wow. That's a long time to wait. Yeah, if you only watch the dubbed, you're going to get massively spoiled by the content of Revolution. And the fight between your Monster Hunter, well, Rory's put 4, but he meant 3, and Dark Souls 2 character, the winner would depend on which game they were fighting in. Does it? Does it though? Are you trying to say that spears and shields don't work in Dark Souls 2? I could make them work, I think. Guildford's Gaming. First look at the title and see Yamateras and thought, oh god, not again. I know, but I had to talk about it. Plus I got that great picture from Panda. Shame you didn't like the Tales combat system. Yeah, it wasn't for me. They're my favourite JRPGs. I played the first Tales games and I became a fan of them even more than Final Fantasy. Wow. Well, no, Final Fantasy is still my preferred, well, the older Final Fantasy games. By the way, if you hear heavy breathing, that's not me. It's Maya standing next to me on a very hot day. Maya, go lie down. Come on. I don't need you heavy breathing and people thinking that I've got some kind of asthmatic person watching me in the background. You're just going to stare at me now. Go lie down. Oh, she did. I paused for a second and she did. No, wait, no, she turned back around. Never mind then. Olizetta, insert comment here because I can't find the right thing to say today. Well, thank you for making it all bold. How did you do that? I didn't realise HTML code worked in comments. Oh wait, of course it does, because it's G+ now, yeah. Stacey Jackson says, "The Heart of Darkness." And then Snowfall replied, "That game was the original Dark Souls." Heart of Darkness, Heart of Darkness. That rings a bell. I'm getting it confused with that game on the GameCube, I think, Eternal Darkness. Never mind then. Weird Musician, Flik, what do you think of Theatre Mode, now available on videos on YouTube, and your favourite game of the year so far? I like that the new standard window is bigger. The Theatre Mode doesn't really do anything for me, because I would have to really upload in 1080 to make use of that now, I think, and I can't really do that because of file size issues. But I like it. I like that they've made it bigger. That's obviously to cater to the audience that now watches on bigger TVs. And my favourite game of the year so far, so that would basically be the game so far this year that I've put the most time into then. Dark Souls 2. I've put like 400 hours at this point into it, so yeah, Dark Souls 2. Alex Rowley, or Rowley, sorry. "I love Spelunky, I will watch and play it anytime." Well, that's good to know. Unfortunately, not everybody shares that opinion. Although I have noticed over the last few days, maybe it's because it's the finale of the World Cup right now, but my views have just fallen off a cliff the last few days, and I've got no idea why. Which is always very stressful. Brandon Daigle, "If you had a horse riding a horse versus a horse riding a horse in a death race, who would win?" Anybody who got to watch that. Another question from Voltaire. Oh, that's him talking about, yeah, what happens if you skip the ad rather halfway through. And as I was saying, I've got no idea. Daniel Nat says, "Nope, Dark Souls, as in my character, would win. You said it yourself, hitting specific targets with the gun lance is hard." Well, yeah, that's actually very true. Especially trying to hit one that rolls, it's damn near impossible. I should know, I tried it in PvP. PvP is the part where people go crazy at the end of a quest and start hitting each other. What? It's fun. Oh wait, do you mean at the end of a hunt? Because that's quite common for people who have, like, using greatswords and lances and stuff, running into each other. That's actually a legitimate tactic in Monster Hunter 4. You can use the greatsword launching attack to hit another player to do the grapple on monsters where you ride them around and then stab the crap out of their back. Speaking of which, I posted a new Monster Hunter 4 trailer on Twitter this morning as well. It looks good. I'm looking forward to playing it a whole lot, and that is all the questions that were on last week's Let's Chat. So if you're listening to this on YouTube right now and you have a topic you want me to talk about, or a question, or comment, did I say that already? I don't know. I'm all over the place today. I think it's a result of it being very stuffily hot and being choked up with hay fever as per bloody usual. But if you want to leave a comment in the description below, in the comment box below, God, see what I mean? I restarted this twice, by the way, because I just messed up my usual intro that I do every week. And I don't usually do that, but I just felt like, ugh. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I will answer them when I record again next week. So that brings us to Twitter, and I asked nice and early this time, so I think I got some questions the night before. Let me just backtrack a little bit here. Yes, Kursai55, what's the most achievement you felt in a video and real life? In real life, I guess finishing college and doing rather well. That was pretty satisfying. I found that more satisfying than anything I did in school. In gaming recently? Parrying the Pursuer for the first time and killing him that way. I was very satisfied with myself there, considering I didn't practice off camera, I was just doing it live. Still messed up the first try, but within the same fight I didn't die, I still managed to do it. I was very happy with that. I know that's quite sad. In terms of like gaming in general, of stuff I've got on video, I recorded myself getting 3rd in the world on a Batman Arkham Asylum challenge map. Like just doing it ridiculously flawlessly, super fast. It's been long since built upon and beat, but I was very proud of myself at the time, and that video still gets a lot of views to this day of people calling me Batman, and I like it. Right, so let's see who else asked something. Maliwatla. I probably butchered that name and I'm very sorry. Oh wait, and then your real name's there, but I don't know whether you want that read out or not. So let's just go with Maliwelta. Thoughts on pancakes? Pancakes are good. I like pancakes. If we're talking about Scotch pancakes, like Scottish ones, not the ones you only have on Shrove Tuesday. Yeah, I'm a fan of Scotch pancakes in the morning with a little bit of butter on them. Every so often jam as well, strawberry jam. Yeah, pancakes are good. I can get behind the campaign in support of pancakes. And that's all we got on Twitter, even though I asked twice this week. For shame, people, for shame. So I did have one thing I wanted to talk about. It's a YouTube thing. It's an interesting thing though. I was reading a debate, or discussion rather, on preferential sub box. I'm not sure if that's the correct way to describe what I'm talking about, so to go into a bit of detail. Say you're subscribed to 100 people. Like, you love YouTube and you love YouTubers, so you subscribe to tons and tons of them, regardless of the genre. It doesn't matter if it's gaming or not. That obviously fills up your main page, your subscription box, pretty damn quick, because you're subscribed to 100 people or more. So what YouTube does is, it prioritizes the users whose content you watch consistently, because, even if you try and space out your content, if you subscribe to a certain number of people, every hour of every day is probably going to have a new video from any given person. So if you don't watch someone's content for quite a while, it's very likely that YouTube will then start not bringing up their new videos in your subscription feed if you've been watching other channels more often, because it will prioritize them. And someone was talking about this on the Let's Play subreddit as a kind of negative, making the rich get richer. It's not done with any malice. It's not great for smaller channels, definitely, but it's not done to like try and screw the little guy and raise the big guy up even higher. It makes sense. YouTube thinks that the viewer wants to watch more of the person they already watch a lot of. It makes sense. It does. It's logical. It's just a shame then that means that the people who don't watch that often get relegated and then eventually maybe even forgotten. So I saw one person commenting they didn't like a couple of games that a certain YouTuber was covering, so they just forgot about them for a little while. Then one day they realised they hadn't seen anything by them in the sub box for ages, went to their channel and they'd missed a crap ton of videos. So yeah, that sucks. It might also explain why I get less than 5% of my total subscribers views per video. That's definitely the biggest stickler. I've never been able to work out why or what happened or what I did or what went wrong over the last 6 years that made that happen. I mean, there is a turnaround time on subscribers, and people might not be aware of this directly if they don't watch content themselves. Eventually someone will probably get bored of you, and you might be sitting there thinking, no, that will never happen, you're the best. That's not true. You will eventually get bored and you'll move on. You'll find something better or different, or your tastes will change, or maybe your life will change. Like, for example, if you are on the younger side when you listen to a certain YouTuber, when you grow up, you get a real job, etc., your circumstances might change. You might just not have time, especially if you're studying for exams. You probably won't have time for YouTube. And I mean, to a certain extent, the older audience who already have a life, have a family, have a 9-to-5 weekday job, they're probably more stuck in their ways, and if they factor into their life time to watch a YouTuber, they'll probably stick with it longer than a younger person will. But the younger side of YouTube, which is the dominant side, the most viewer, the larger viewer base, sorry, is the way I want to say it. There is a turnaround time on the point at which someone starts watching your content and you're commenting often, and then it will just start to trickle off a little bit, and then they'll go, and then they'll move on. I notice it, I do. There's nothing really you can do about it. It's just that it sounds negative to say this, but fans are fickle, and it's true that they are. I'm as fickle as anyone who might be classed as one of my fans to other people, put it that way. I mean, I used to watch the Oddcast years and years ago. I don't anymore, haven't done for years, but they're still going strong. But that's also why bigger channels are less inclined to try and, you know, like share the audience, because they'll know as well that their audience disappears and gets replaced and disappears and gets replaced. It's the way of things. It's how things happen. It's interesting, last time I was talking about, I was going through all my old videos, making my tags better for SEO because they used to function differently and now they don't. And I looked at some of the comments on those old videos, and it was like going down memory lane. I was like, oh, remember when that person used to comment a lot? I wonder whatever happened to them. Did they get a job? Did they graduate? Did they move on? I don't even mean from a feeling bitter point of view that they don't comment on my content anymore. I'm just curious what happened. I mean, hell, maybe some of them died. Who knows? But it's just interesting that if you go back to really old videos, see who the regular commenters are, and realise that none of them are around anymore. It's a little sad, but that's how this industry currently works. Because there's so many, how to say it, there's so many different restaurants that loyalty to one in particular, it doesn't even make sense, because there's so many others you could be trying. I'm not sure, I think I made this sound overly negative, which is the given thing with these Let's Chats, I think. Maybe melancholy more, which I think is actually fair in this case. But that's something I wanted to just bring up as an interesting side note, that YouTube does kind of prioritise subscriptions. Is there anything you can do about it? Not really. Trim your subscription list maybe, but then you'll be definitely denying a few certain people interactions with their content. I don't know, it's something to think on. I didn't really have a particular point for bringing this up. It was just something interesting that I noticed in parallel to discussion that was happening on the Let's Play subreddit. So I think that is going to wrap it up for this week. Thank you very much for listening, and as I was saying, Saturday the 19th, Monster Hunter Night, starting at 7 PM GMT, there will be an alert on the Steam group. And, you know, watch me on Twitter asking for questions. Next time I'm going to record one of these if you want to get in some silly stuff. In fact, let me just do one last check in case there's been any more questions. There has not, so I gave everybody fair warning. Or you can just leave a comment in the comment section below about whatever and whenever, whoever you want. Keep it civil though, that's the only rule I have. I only get rid of comments if they are not civil, whether they're aimed at me or, you know, a heated debate. So thank you once again for watching, or listening, whichever you choose to do. I'm going to go see why Maya won't leave me alone now. Maybe it's because she didn't eat her certain meal. I'm going to have to go check that. Anyway, I'm now just narrating what I'm going to do with my day at this point. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Ta-ta for now.